Want to know where the biggest bass in your lake go during the summertime? It's not shallow, it's not docks, it's offshore. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what offshore fishing is, how to find offshore fish, and how to catch them. Let's get into it. So first, what even is offshore fishing? Offshore fishing is simply fishing away from the shoreline, or offshore. Pretty much, you're just fishing off the shore. It's in the name. Also, instead of targeting visible cover like docks, weeds, brush piles, you're targeting cover and shapes like contours on the bottom that are actually under the water, and you cannot see them unless you have sonar. Things like underwater points, humps, brush piles, saddles, creek channels are all great places to find offshore bass, especially in the summertime. Why do bass go offshore? There's really just two reasons. Number one is that it's cooler. Bass are cold-blooded species, and if the water gets shallow, it's too hot for them, they'll move offshore to cooler water. And number two, there's a lot more oxygen in the cooler, darker water than there is in the shallow, hot water. Also, there's a lot more bait offshore. There's crawfish and usually big schools of shad they can chase. That's why some of the biggest schools of bass can be found offshore this time of the year. Now, you've talked about where they go and why they go there, but how do you find them? Well, you can find them really using two methods. Number one, you can go old school. You can use a map. You can use a map of your lake. You can see where the humps are. You can see where the points are. You can see where the saddles are. You can even like drag a jig around and see where all the brush piles are. Or a lot faster and easier way, you can use sonar. You can use 2D or down screen or side scan, or if you're really fancy, you can use live scope to find the structure and the bass offshore. Also, if you don't have electronics, you can look for schools of shad feeding on top of the surface and bass blowing up on them. If you find that, then if you find the bait, you find the bass. Pretty simple. So if you find the shad, then you'll find the bass most likely. All right, now I've talked about how to find them. Now, how are you supposed to catch them? Well, offshore bass can be pretty tricky sometimes. Sometimes they're really picky, and sometimes they don't care whatever the heck that is in front of their face, they're gonna eat it. That really depends on what time of the day and year and the cloud cover and stuff. We won't go into that in this video, but I'll give you 4 baits that I guarantee you will catch offshore bass with. Number one of my favorites, one of the best, a deep crankbait. A deep crankbait is a great, absolutely amazing way to catch offshore bass, because this bait will go down on the bottom and it will pretty much hit the bottom and deflect off any cover and will drive the bass crazy. Literally, it's super simple. You throw it out, wind it along the bottom, and you may stop a little bit every now and then keep reeling, but this will catch bass. And if you get on a good crankbait bite, you can catch like 50 bass in a day, and they're not going to be small either, because a small bass can't really eat that big of a bait. But a deep crankbait, if you can get on the bite, is really good. But usually deep crankbait bites only happen in the mornings or evenings or when it's cloudy. During the bright part of the sunny day, you can still catch them, but it's more uncommon to catch them on deep crankbaits when it's really sunny and really hot out. So when it's really sunny and really hot out, how are you supposed to catch them? Well, I really have 3 baits right here. My number one bait that I like to target, I don't really have a favorite bait. I have confidence in every single one of these baits here. But if I would have to pick one just to fish no matter what, it would be a shaky head. Because I'm telling you, a shaky head is the number one bait. Like literally, if I couldn't use a bait for the rest of the summer, I would pick up a shaky head, because it catches small bass, it catches good sized bass, it catches a lot of bass, and it catches absolute giant bass too. Last time I was at the lake, I caught an 8-pounder on this exact bait right here. It was wild. Quick tip, pay attention. This is extremely important if you want to catch your PB this summer. Purple baits, rather that's June bug, plum, bright plum, dark June bug, PB&J jigs, throw purple. For some, I don't know why, but big bass, especially in the summertime, love to eat purple things. I don't know why. But I caught an 8-pounder on this exact worm, June bug worm, last one at the lake. So I don't know why. I don't know. I'm just saying, if you want to catch more bass, not more bass, more big bass, throw purple stuff. If you just want to catch a lot of bass, throw natural colored stuff. All right, bait number 2, a jig. football jig right here. This is the Dirty Jigs football jig, an extremely good football jig in a very specific trailer. This is the Yamamoto double tail grip. I like this because even the slightest pull, it still has action. That is very important because I want my jig trailer to have a lot of action. Okay, not only the skirt, but I want the trailer too to have action because it's mimicking a crawfish along the bottom, and usually offshore, crawfish on the bottom are feeding. So when these are always moving, no matter how slightly I pull the rod, these are moving, simulating a crawfish feeding along the bottom. And again, I love jigs. Pretty much it's a very simple throw jig. You throw it out over the cover you're throwing, you drag it through, and you just pretty much wait to get bit, and then you whack them. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. And then probably my favorite way to catch giants, like just giants only, no small fish. Actually, that's a lie. You can catch pretty small fish in this. A giant worm. Here's a 12-inch worm right here. It's like called the Old Monster Big in size. I don't know. It's called the Magnum Old Monster. It's a 12-inch worm, super thick, 6/0 hook in the back of this thing. And trust me, if you want to catch a PB this summer, throw a purple. I like plum. I like the color plum big worms. I don't know why. Throw a purple giant worm, like 12-inch, 14-inch, 15, 16-inch worm, 52-inch worm. I don't know how big you can get. Throw that offshore, and trust me, you will catch bass. You'll be just surprised at how small a bass can eat this worm. But also, whenever you do throw big worms, you throw it out there, let it hit the bottom, you start dragging it. And whenever you do get that bite, wait like 5 seconds before you set the hook, because a bass, it takes them a minute to get from the tail to the head, okay? Usually bass pick up hits from the end and they work their way. So give it about 5 Mississippis. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, and whang them, okay? Just trust me, you will not catch any fish if whenever you feel that bite to whack them. Now, on the jig and the shaky head, you can whack them right away. But this big worm, you may want to give them a little bit to eat. If you throw those baits, I practically guarantee you to catch offshore bass. I guarantee you to catch offshore bass. Make sure whenever you do fish for offshore bass, you use the fan cast method. Even if you found them on live scope or 2D or whatever you're using, make sure you use the fan cast method. So pretty much you cast one time here, reel in, or not reel in, work your bait, okay, move over, cast again, pull it in, straight out, bang, 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 and then back, bang, bang, bang. If you don't get bit, move on. If you do get bit, cast on that exact same angle you did at least 5 times. At least 5 times. And then if you don't, move to the second angle, okay? Offshore fishing is not fast. Unless you're fishing with deep crankbait, then it's fast. But with worms and jigs, it's slow. Slow and methodical. These fish are lethargic and they don't want to eat. But you are presenting a bait that they cannot resist in front of their face. But make sure you pay attention to the exact location that the bass bite happened, because most of the time, 99% of the time when you get your bit offshore, there's more bass sitting there waiting to get also eat too. Now, also, if you catch a bass on a big worm and you reel it in, you hook it, unhook it, throw it back out there, 5 casts, you don't get bit. Now, a big worm may not be the right bait to catch the bass that are already kind of on edge because they just saw their buddy get yanked out by a giant worm looking thing. Maybe throw a little shaky head or even like a drop shot in there, because it's a more finessey, and maybe we'll catch those more scared and skittish bass because just saw their buddy get yoinked out. So that's really, if you catch bass on a big worm and you throw back in there and you aren't catching anymore, maybe try a couple casts with a smaller bait. It's just pretty much logic. So that's the basics of offshore fishing in the summertime. Find structure, find bait, find bass. Make sure to fish slowly and thoroughly in each location. And when you get a bite, don't leave soon. If you enjoyed this video and you want more bass fishing tips like this, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Catch a big one. Peace.